This conference will now be recorded.
Hello students, I'm Dr. Divya from TeenEinstein. Now we are learning about crop production and management, first chapter in 8th standard, and this is the second part. So in this chapter we are learning about agriculture practices, then basic practices of crop production. In that basic practices, then we are learning about how to prepare the soil for um, agriculture purpose, then agriculture implements, what and all we need to give for that crop cultivation, then how to do sowing, how to add a manure and fertilizer to that soil, then how to irrigate the crop, then protection from weeds, then after finishing all these things the crop will grow, then finally how to do harvesting, then the most important thing, we have finished these many steps, right? All practices we have done, sowing we have done, fertilizer added, irrigation, protection from weeds, everything we have done, and the crop is grown well. After that, what we need to do, at the right time we need to harvest the crop, right? So after the right time harvesting, then next work is, see, after getting a good yield, if we are not able to store that in a well managed place or well managed container, everything will go waste, right? So next important step is the storage. And the fifth topic which we are learning in this chapter, that is food from animals and animal husbandry. So these many topics, actually this is a vast portion or vast chapter, but here we are learning the basic things about all these. Okay, so in the previous part, like part 1, we had discussed, just I want to summarize that part 1 just to get a continuity to the second part. So agriculture practices, about the agriculture practices we had discussed. Agriculture practices means uh, to get a better yield for a particular crop, what and all steps we need to take. See, the best farming practices we need to do. Right, for the best yield or for a better yield we need to give the best from our side. That means the best farming practices we need to give. So what and all we need to handle the crop in all each and every stage. We need to handle the crop in a very good way. So here, try to avoid maximum errors, right? So agriculture practices in the sense, uh, soil preparation, then in the soil preparation, what and all we'll do, how to prepare the soil for cultivation, plowing we need to do, right? Then leveling, and after that watering. So these are the steps for soil preparation, right? Then planting, planting the seed or sowing seeds. Okay, so here the best seed or the best crop we need to select, and with best practices we need to do the planting. right? So great quality seeds we will select, which we need to plant, and we will learn the correct procedure to get a better yield from this, right? And next comes the manure and fertilizer. Okay, manure and fertilizer. Manure or the fertilizer, that means we are giving or we are supplying something extra nutrients. See, apart from the soil will be having some kind of nutrients. So apart from that, for a better yield and better growth of that crop, we will supply manure. Manure and fertilizer. Manure, which is organic form, and fertilizer, which is the chemical form. Okay, so that's the difference between manure and fertilizer. So that one, according to the crop need of that crop, we need to provide this manure and fertilizer. Then comes the importance of irrigation. So everything we have mentioned just in one or two sentences in the first part, just to know the basic practices, what and all we need to provide. So irrigation means here we are providing water in each and every stage as per the requirement of that plant. So that's what we are doing in irrigation, that we can do with different methods. By using different methods, we can do the irrigation and without wasting the water. That should be our aim. See, if we are doing some agriculture practices or whatever it may be, our aim should be the zero wastage, right? Without wasting, we can do everything. So we should plan whatever we are doing in a planning, that should be clear that we are making zero wastage. Each and every stage should be useful, and the right procedure you need to adopt for every step. Okay, so traditional techniques or advanced techniques, both we can use. Then weeding. What is weeding? Weeds means the extra plants which are not the crop. See, in a cropping system, in a field, the crop is growing. So we are concentrating on that crop. So whatever plants other than the crop, that we will consider as a weed, which is the not useful plant. Okay, which is not at all useful. We are concentrating on the crop. If you are growing paddy or if you are growing wheat, there the concentration will go to weed, that wheat plant, right? So there anything else other than this, any crop is there in that field, that will absorb nutrients from this. See, we are applying manure, fertilizer, everything. That is for that main crop. So that main crop, other than that, any weed is coming in that field, that will absorb. That plant also need nutrients. So that also will absorb water. That also will absorb nutrients. So what will happen? Here, this expected concentration of nutrients or the fertilizer or the manure will not go to the main crop. So here weeds also will absorb. So what we need to do, we need to remove the weeds. So that process or that procedure or that step is called as weeding. So weed removal, that is very important. Either manually we can do or by using new techniques we can do. Okay. Then harvesting. Then comes harvesting. So after the complete growth of that crop, we can harvest at the right stage. This harvesting is also very important, because if it is crossing that right stage, that also will create problems, right? So at right stage, at right maturity, harvesting. See, premature stage also harvest. If we are harvesting, that won't give a best quality one, and we cannot, this from this harvest only we are taking seeds for the next one, right? So that is also not possible, premature one. And if over matured, or if you're keeping that in field itself after the harvesting days, again their germination may start, right? That seeds inside itself, it may germinate. So that is also not good. So right time harvesting, that is another important one. Then the storage. After harvesting, proper storage. We need to store at the right place with the first we need to dry, then we need to store. That water content we need to remove, right? For that drying we should do. Then we need to keep it in the godown with appropriate ventilation. And from the grain eaters, or we can tell like insects which are spoiling the grains, from that also we need to keep the harvested crop in a safe way. Okay, so in this is the summary of first part. These are the main practices which we are applying in a crop or in the crop production. Okay, so let's see here in the second part what and all we are going to discuss. See, basic practices of crop production. Okay, so here onwards we are going to the detailed procedure. See, agriculture. What do you mean by agriculture or agriculture science? See, in agriculture, this is the science which is mainly dealing with different processes or different methods. Deals with different methods. Different methods which is used for cultivation. Agricultural science means that is a science which is dealing with the different methods of cultivation. See, why we are saying like that? See, we know that different processes or different methods are used for each and every plant, right? Or each and every crop. So crop, for each crop, cultivation method varies, right? See, each and every crop, their life cycle is different, their harvesting stage is different, or their maturation stage is different, or their irrigation method will be different. So whatever it may be, agriculture science or agriculture practices that is dealing with different methods of cultivation. So here we can say different processes or method which is used for cultivating various varieties of plants or livestock, or in the case of animals we can say in animal husbandry, that side, that is in animal husbandry side we can say it is based on the human need, in which stage they need human, or it is demanded in which stage. So according to that the practices may vary, right? And this crops, what do you mean by a crop? We are telling about crop production methods, crop production improvement and all. So what is a crop? See, crops means they are the plants which are grown on a large scale. Okay, grown on a large scale, and it's of the same variety. Okay, so large scale production. What do you mean by crop? Crops are plants that are grown on a large scale. Crops we are growing on a large scale, and that is also from the same variety. Same variety we are growing on a large scale. That is called as a crop. Okay, so this is one question. What is the crop? And what is agriculture science? Agriculture science means it is dealing with different methods of cultivation. For each and every crop, cultivation method is different. So agricultural science is dealing with different methods of cultivation of different crops. For every crop that varies. And in animal husbandry case, we can say that based on the demand, we are, or based on the human demand, that animals or animal husbandry side, there the farming is done. Okay, and crop means they're the plants which are grown on a large scale. Same variety of plant which are grown on a large scale and based on the need it is done, right? Why we need such a large crop production? What is the necessity of crop production? Need of crop production. See, everybody knows what is the need of crop production, because food is necessity of all the living things, right? Food is very important for all living things, and plants, animals, all from all this side we are getting food, right? Food is first point. What is the need of crop production? Food is important. Food is very important for all living things. Then, second point, what we need to write is both plants and animals, both are providing food, right? From plants and animals, both we are getting food. And we said agriculture means that's the practice of cultivating crops, right? And some parameters in agriculture that must be considered. What are those? Like crop type. Crop type, we need to check which crop type you want and the properties of that soil. Then we need to think about climate. So all these are related, right? Right crop you need to select, right crop type you need to select, then the soil properties, the how that soil is, whether that soil is okay for this crop cultivation. See, while selecting the crop, we need to think about the soil quality also, or the soil property, how that soil is, that we need to consider. That is very important point while selecting a crop, right? If the crop is not giving a good yield in a particular type, see, soil itself is of different types, right? So in some area it will be like dark, and some area it will be like loose soil. So in such, for that particular type of soil, which crop will suit, that we need to think first. And from that, see, if we are choosing a particular crop like x y whatever it may be, different crops are there. So for a particular soil you are selecting a crop, and among that crop you need to select the best variety, right? In that type of soil, see, if you're selecting corn, or if you're selecting maize, I mean wheat or something, the main crop itself we need to consider. So that main crop, just for an example I'm saying, if you're selecting paddy, if you're selecting wheat or corn, whatever may be, for a particular soil, see, this is an area here, paddy won't give that much yield, and it won't suit for that soil. Then you are going for another one, you are selecting corn or maize, you are selecting that one, and that is giving good yield in that particular area. Okay, then what will do, the farmer will go and select the maize, maize only there. So there maize, and among maize you will get huge number of varieties. So for that particular area, which variety is giving good yield, that you need to find out. And from there you need to start your farming practices. So what you will do there, soil property also you should keep in mind. And what about climate? For that climate, whether that crop is suiting or not, that also you should keep in mind. Okay, so after matching all these things, you need to select a crop variety which is giving a high quality product. Okay, so for that we need to follow a set of practices. So the basic practices in the crop production will say, so which are all the basic practices in the crop production? So the basic practices that starts from the soil preparation. Okay, soil preparation. So first the soil preparation means that's the first step before planting a crop. Okay, this is the most important step, and soil preparation is must. We should do the soil preparation before planting a crop. This is the first step before planting a crop. So before planting a crop, this is the first step. Soil preparation is the first step. Okay. So if we are making the soil preparation in the sense loosening the soil and turning the soil, turning and loosening the soil. We need to make the soil loose and we need to turn the soil, right? Why we are doing this step, turning the soil and loosening the soil? That means this soil preparation method or turning and loosening the soil that allow the root to penetrate deep into the soil. This is for root penetration. So this loose soil will help the root to penetrate into the soil, and that helps to breathe. So breathing freely even when they are deep in the soil. Okay. So root penetration and breathing, that is the importance of this loosening of soil. Then this loosened soil or this loose soil that is promoting the growth, loose soil that will promote the growth of microbes, soil microbes. Then earthworm. Okay. And that will add what? Humus. Humus to it. Okay. So here, as a result of all these, before beginning the cultivation, it's very important. That's why, see, it is providing many things. Root penetration, it is easy when we are making the soil in a loose condition. Then breathing, that also is becoming very easy. Then the loose soil, that is helping or that is promoting the growth of soil microbes. Soil microbes are very important, right? They are very important in the growth of a crop, and that will promote the growth of earthworm and the microbes, and that add humus, right? So before beginning the crop cultivation, the method of soil preparation, that is very, very important. So this is the importance. These points you need to write down, the importance of soil preparation. Why we are preparing soil before starting cultivation. Okay, these are the important points which we need to mention under the importance of soil preparation. Okay, and here the soil preparation is done by different methods. Okay, so the methods for soil preparation, methods for soil preparation. Which are the methods or what are all methods we are using for soil preparation? About that we are going to discuss. Okay, so first one, we need to tell about plowing. Plowing, or otherwise we can call as tilling. Okay. So this each and every point, whatever I'm saying now onwards, that is a short answer type question. Plowing or tilling? What is plowing? What is tilling? Okay. See, we know that only few centimeters of soil top layer that is supporting plant growth. Okay. Top layer of soil in that few centimeters, that is supporting plant growth. Okay, only few centimeters of this top layer soil. See, here you can see this is the plowing, what we are calling as plowing, and the top layer only few centimeters is supporting for plant growth. Okay, so that top layer of soil which is supporting the plant growth, that layer we are turning and loosening the soil. Okay, so that top layer we are preparing for cultivation. Preparing that layer, turning and loosening the that soil layer. Okay, so that that makes, if you are loosening the soil, that brings the nutrient rich soil to the surface. So if you are turning the soil, that makes the nutrient rich soil to the surface, that brings nutrient rich soil to the top side, right? See, here by using the plowing methods, different plowing methods, the soil is turning, or we are making the soil in a loose condition. So what is happening from the downside? The soil is coming to the upper side, which is rich in nutrient, right? So that nutrient rich soil is coming upward or to the surface, right? So plants can, if it is coming up, the nutrient rich soil is coming up, what will happen? Plants can utilize that soil, right? And this is done by using a plow. Okay, this plowing is done by plow. And sometimes if the soil is extremely dry, what will happen? It will be difficult, it will become very hard, and it's difficult to do the plowing. So that time what we will do, we need to water before plowing. So before plowing, if it is in an extremely dry condition, we need to water that soil before plowing. Okay, here you can see this is after watering, the plowing is done here. So by different methods we can do the plowing. Here the turning the soil and making it in a loose condition, and that down from the downside, that nutrient rich soil is coming towards the surface so that plants can utilize that nutrients in an efficient way, right? So here, if the soil is extremely dry, what we need to do, water we need to water that before plowing. Okay, so this soil preparation or plowing, that can be done by using a plow. See, here you can see this, hope you have seen these methods. Like now modern technologies are there which is to save time. See, with this animals, in earlier period and all, we were using with animals, and here one iron plow will be there which is made of iron, and it is connected, here you can see it is connected to this wooden part, and this animals will pull that, and when it is moving forward, you can see this kind of loosening soil, right? So in a particular way they'll do it, the farmer will try to do it. So here you can see the lines which is making the soil, turning the soil completely upward from the downside, and the mixing of the nutrients will happen and the soil aeration will be easy. And here this field, that's why we said we need to water, we need to water the field if it is extremely dry. So here that may be in extremely dry conditions, so before plowing they are watering, and here you can see the usage of modern work. See, here one single plow will be there. Here instead of that, at the same time you can save the time, right? You can do a large field, a very large field within limited time, right? Because this is a machine, and here it is connected to the tractor or something like that, and multiple lines you are doing at a time. Here you can see the multiple lines you are doing at a time, right? Because it's machinery, so it can move in a faster way and in an efficient way, so we can save time. Okay, so it's done by a plow, we said. Next one is hoe. See, this hoe is, I don't know nowadays how many kids or how many children they have seen all these things, but this is a very simple tool for tilling the land. Simple tool for tilling the land. Okay, so this is a very simple tool for tilling the land and for removing weeds. Okay, see, in some land area where the thick plantation is there, there we cannot do the plow. Plowing method we cannot do there. Plowing method with the help of bullock or tractor, it's not possible because there is no space to move that vehicle. How, I mean, that tractor or something which is connected to that plow, what they will do? They cannot use that method. And the bullock with that, the plow, it's not able to move inside, means what they will do? In that condition also it's difficult. So a single person with this hoe, they can remove the weeds. How they will do weeding with this? One person, there is only that much space because that much thick plantation is there. So to remove the weeds, this is the one and only method. Okay, but it is time consuming. That's the problem, time consuming. It is depending upon the condition of that plantation, whether to use this one or the other methods. Okay, so it is very simple tool for tilling the land and it is helping for removing the weeds also. Then for digging the soil also we can use. Okay, for digging the soil you can use this. Here you can see a long wooden piece or wood rod. This is the wood rod which is attached to one end, where here we can hold and do the weeding or tilling. Okay, so the long wooden rod that is attached to one end by a bent iron plate. This is a bent iron plate. Okay, this is bent iron plate that is connected to a wooden rod, and holding here we can remove the weeds by using this portion. This will be slight sharp. Okay, so the other end that is connected to this may be connected to animal or man, so that when it is moving or when it's getting operated, the weeds will get removed and the digging or loosening of the soil is possible. Okay, so that is a hoe. So hoe means that is a simple tool which is used for tilling the land or for removing the weeds and for digging up the soil. Okay, so a long wooden, here you can see a long wooden rod is connected to a bent iron plate, and by holding the wooden rod we can do the digging or tilling the soil, whatever we need. Okay, and this iron plate, this is a bent iron plate and on the other end, and that is connected to this wooden rod. Okay, and next comes the cultivator. Cultivator, this is the cultivator. See this part here, you can see, hope you can see these. This is the cultivator. Okay, and this cultivator, here you can see that this cultivator that is connected to a tractor. So cultivator is used to this cultivator is connected, or that is powered by tractor. Okay, the cultivator is connected to a tractor, and by using that weeding is done. So cultivator, here you can see that this is also for plowing or loosening the soil, and for weeds removal and unwanted vegetations we can remove from the soil. So tractors are used for the or for to power the cultivator. And this cultivator that is to remove or to kill the this remove the weeds, right? By using the animal, single one is there means here you can see many shafts here, several things, so multiple lines can be done. So this cultivator that is for killing the weeds and to remove unwanted vegetation. Okay, that removes unwanted vegetation, to remove unwanted vegetation. Okay, so this plowing that is now done with tractor, which is connected to a cultivator. So nowadays for time consuming methods with normal animals and all, it will be time consuming, and they need many days to complete a field work, right? So here nowadays plowing is done with a tractor which is connected to a cultivator. So the cultivator is powered by a tractor. Here you can see the cultivator, and that is connected or it is powered by a tractor. And as the tractor runs, here cultivator that will make the soil in a loose condition, and here unwanted weeds will get removed and proper aeration will be done, right? So plowing nowadays it is done with a tractor driven cultivator. So this is the cultivator, role of cultivator you need to write. So hoe, cultivator, all these are used for plowing and removal of the weeds, right? So how each and every method there, this is manually we need to do here, and it is time consuming. And the cultivator means it is connected to a tractor or it is powered by a tractor, and it is easy method of plowing, and at the same time you can kill the weeds also, you can remove the weeds also, and this is connected to a tractor. Okay, then after cultivator next step is leveling, right? Cultivation over, cultivator work that got over. Cultivator means removal of the weeds over, then loosening of the soil, that or plowing work completely done. Now you need to level the soil, right? See, after plowing, top soil will be in loose condition, right? After plowing, top soil layer that will be in a quite loose condition. If enough plowing is done, that will be in a very loose condition. So the leveler, we need to bring the leveler. Leveler means it's a heavy wooden or iron plank, okay, which is used to leveler, wooden or iron plank, which is used to level the soil. Okay, why we are doing this leveling? For the uniform distribution of water during irrigation. See, one place is little bit high and one place is low. After plowing means what will happen? If you're doing the irrigation, water will come to the low level and the plants which are there in the higher level, they won't get. So the uniform leveling of the soil, that is also important. Leveling is done for the distribution of uniform distribution of water during irrigation. So leveling is done for uniform distribution of water. So during irrigation, if the water is to be distributed in a uniform way, leveling should be done. That is the importance of leveling. Okay, why we need to do leveling? After plowing, topsoil will be very loose, in a very loose condition. So by using a wooden or iron plank, we need to level the leveling of the land area should be done. That where the importance of this leveling comes means, here if leveling of the soil is done in a proper way, uniform distribution of water will take place during irrigation. Uniform, this water will get distributed in a uniform way. Otherwise it will go to the area where the land is in a low level, right? If it is leveled in a uniform way, everywhere in the whole field the water will get distributed in a uniform way, right? Then next comes, after leveling, base manuring. Base manuring. So first the basic manuring we need to do. See, even before sowing we need to add manure, right? Because one cultivation over, so almost all the nutrients are absorbed by the previous crops, right? See, after one crop we are going to start the next one, next crop cultivation we are starting. So before cultivation, first we need to make the soil in a loose condition. Then that means plowing should be done, then leveling should be done. After that we need to give the basic manuring or the basic level, or a very little manure we need to add before sowing, because already whatever is present in the soil, the nutrients which is present in the soil, that's absorbed by one crop season over. So almost all plants that might have absorbed near to 70 to 80% of that soil nutrients, right? For the next plant we need to give the basic manuring first before sowing. That gives the nutrients for the germination. So we add manure to soil before sowing. So before sowing, we are adding manure. Why? That increases the soil fertility. To increase soil fertility, we are doing this basic manuring, because that manure will get properly incorporated into the soil and that increases the fertility. Okay, so here first it's better to use the green manure and farmyard manure. Okay, green manure and farmyard manure. So green manure and farmyard manure, they are the best things to use for the basic manure, or base manuring is done with green manure and farmyard manure. Okay, and that will get incorporated into the soil in a proper way, and that enriches or that increases the soil fertility. So the use of green manure and farmyard manure will always improve the crop growth and crop yield. Okay, so if you're sowing a seed, a healthy seedling should form, right? So for that, some manure or some enrichment should be there in the soil. Something should increase the soil fertility. So there we'll prefer green manure and farmyard manure before sowing or for setting the soil. Okay, so now these are the steps to make a land ready for what? For sowing. So now the land is ready for sowing, right? All the things we have done for the next step of sowing. Now soil is ready. So soil preparation is very important. First we need to find out which crop is important, which crop is suitable for that particular soil. So soil properties, according to the soil condition, we need to select a crop. And among that crop itself, we need to find out the best variety or high yielding variety of that crop, and that should match with the climatic condition also. In that climatic condition, and in that particular soil condition, which crop is giving good yield or which crop is suitable, and among that crop varieties, which variety is best one for your area or your land or your climatic condition, that we need to find out. That's the first step. Then we need to prepare the soil or prepare the field according to the conditions which is required for your crop. So first we need to make the soil in a loose condition. So for making it in a loose condition, what we will do, we'll use the plowing methods, different plowing methods, because only the top layer of soil that is helping or that is supporting for cultivation, right? So that soil you should make in a loose condition for the proper breathing and for the right penetration of the root to the soil, right? Because while germinating these plants or the seedling, that will be having a very smooth root, right? That should penetrate through the soil. So for that, first you need to plow the land and should make in a loose condition. So if the soil is dry or it is in a hard condition, before plowing, what you need to do, you need to water. Okay, then by using different plowing methods, you need to do this. You need the plowing. So now plowing is over, soil is ready, and next in the next class we will be learning about different sowing methods. Okay, sowing for what and all. Sowing, we need to how to prepare for the sowing practices and how to do that by using different methods, that we'll learn in the next part. Okay, thank you.